what not to say, dressing code, and things like that. So that is a very packed program. So that's what Sister Marilyn will handle. Then we also have another very important person in our midst. She is Dr. Cynthia Odro Nyako in our midst. She is also a lecturer at the university, the Accra Technical University. She has about 14 years experience in that regard. She is also a business person. She has MBA in entrepreneurship. And God has elected her to this afternoon to come and teach us on how to start our business. So as many people are here, I believe after do exploits, you want to emerge, right? Yeah, so she will tell you what to do, businesses that can fetch, businesses that can thrive in our world now, so that you don't make a shipwreck of your life. By the grace of God, she is very competent in that field, and God would use her to handle that aspect for us. After we have gone to our classes, we'll come back to have what we call the panel discussion. What it simply means is that we'll assemble these 4 personalities I mentioned here, 3 of course, we'll assemble them here. We'll have a moderator who would ask them questions that I believe are on your mind. Then again, when they are done with that session, you will now have the opportunity to ask questions. We'll give room for that. So whatever questions are bothering your mind in academics, on your business area, and things like that, they would, by the grace of God, assist you in that. So Sister Dr. Cynthia Odro would handle the entrepreneurs class and also the working class. So if you're a banker, you're a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, a farmer, whoever you are, you fall under that category, right? Then even with the entrepreneurs, whether you are a pure water seller, you do this small scale selling and things like that, Dr. Cynthia Odro will handle that for you. So in this class, in the auditorium now, we are going to have 2 classes combined together, and that is what Doctor will handle for us. So she would handle the working class or the career people, plus the entrepreneurs. I hope you're getting the point I'm making. Yeah. And then the Brother Gabriel would handle the undergraduate class. Like I said, they will move to Canopy 4. So if you are in any tertiary institution, be it College of Education, university, teacher training college, what have you, you move to Canopy 4. That is where Dr. Gabriel would help you to increase your CGPA, how to acquire skills that can help you in your life. And then finally, Sister Marilyn would move her class to the prayer room. So she's going to handle those who have just finished any tertiary institution of their choice and are now going on to the job market to look for a job. So that is what Sister Marilyn will handle for us. Now, for our internet audience, you are not left out of whatever we are doing. As I speak to you now, we are going to have 4 different streamings of all our speakers. So if you go onto our YouTube channel now, you have 4 different streaming going on live as I speak to you. And they would handle that for us. So without wasting my time, if you are undergraduates, please move to Canopy 4 under the shed over there. Move to Canopy 4. If you are an undergraduate, please move to Canopy 4. So I can give us a song while they move out. Graduates. If you are graduates, please move to Canopy 4. The teenagers again, you start from Canopy 1, 2, and 3. Teachers, please move with them. So teenagers, JHS, SHS, and things like that. Upper primary, you are moving to Canopy 4. And Canopy 1, 2, and 3, right? Canopy 1, 2, and 3, you are moving to that field. And so, the working class people, please come forward. The working class people, please come forward. If you are having your own business, please come forward. Draw closer. If you're having your own class, your own business, please draw forward. Come closer. Let's draw closer. And if you just finished any tertiary institution, please also come inside. If you have just finished any tertiary institution, move to the prayer room. Move to the prayer room. So, without wasting my time, with your permission and that of mine, I would like to invite our guest speaker who has come all the way from Kumasi to bless us with a presentation on how to start your business. How to start your business. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for her as she comes with a round of applause. You can do better with that. You can do better. Let's give it up for her as she comes. Thank you, Doc.
Permission to remove this. Okay. Very grateful to be here this afternoon. As already introduced, I am Mrs. Cynthia Odro Nyako. The name is Odro Nyako. And this afternoon we want to talk a little on entrepreneurship. They said the program is dubbed Emerge. That is branching out, making yourself outstanding among your colleagues. And why are we so interested in entrepreneurship this afternoon? We are interested because it has now become a household name. Every government is interested in entrepreneurship, making policies, because there are no jobs these days. And every government or economy is making the effort so that people can start their own businesses and then grow them and also employ people into their business. So we want to look at how to start a business and then growing it and then managing it this afternoon. I'm so grateful to the organizers of this program for giving me the opportunity to be here. In fact, entrepreneurship, I would say, is my breath. I love it so much. So over the years, I've been teaching it. By the grace of God, we did MBA Entrepreneurship and Small Enterprise Development, and then we continue to pursue PhD in Entrepreneurship Management. So we have come to realize that it is very important. So for those of you here, I know by the close of the presentation, at least, you would have gotten something that you are going to add up to what you are doing already. And if you don't have anything doing, by all means, you conceive an idea of how to start something on your own. When we talk about entrepreneurship, the whole thing is centered or bordered on just 4 things. Someone able to identify opportunity and then writing a business plan for that. Then you determine the required resources you need to execute the opportunity. And then after starting up the business, you manage the business. So when we talk about the essentials of entrepreneurship, the most important item is generating ideas or identifying opportunities. And where do ideas come from? Normally we say that an idea is a mental impression, something that comes to mind. But when you conceive an idea, it's a thought. It means entrepreneurial creativity to bring that idea into a reality. So if I conceive that I want to do this mic, which is an idea, until I bring it out as a product or service for somebody to see, it is still a mental impression. There are a lot of sources of ideas, government policies that comes, observation, complaints of people, working experience, your creativity. All these are ideas that comes to mind. And once you conceive the idea and realize there is an opportunity, you seize on those opportunities. Then the next is to organize the resources you need. So if I want to produce a bottle of water, that is the idea. What are the things that I need to bring out the water? And then when we talk of entrepreneurship, it is not always about creating something new. That is some of the definition. But there are times too you can add value. From Schumpeter's perspective, you add value to something that is already in existence. So you be in the value chain. It is also entrepreneurship. For example, there are dawa on the market. Those balls we see with some flies and others around them. Then somebody takes it, the seed, and then put it in a different way, package it and label it nice way. It is value addition. So entrepreneurship is not just about creating something new, but at times you can be in the value chain. So you can seize the opportunity by adding value. Then you assume risk of setting up the business, because according to the first person that brought up the word entrepreneur, Cantillon, entrepreneurship is a speculative activity that one is engaging in. When we say venture, venture means to step into the unknown, to expedite. So you are exploring. So there is risk assumed in entrepreneurship. But then the great thing is that if you succeed, there are rewards for you. And in the form of money, that is financing, in the form of capital formation, in the form of even recognition in our society. So having said this, one will ask, how do I recognize opportunity? New opportunities arises on a daily basis, as we have put it there. So it depends on you to seize this and make the most of them. They are everywhere. Remember, you are living in a vicinity. And these days, whenever we build our houses, we put a store in front of it. So you walk on a lane where everybody is selling provisions. Maybe in that area, even when you need fragile or paracetamol, it's not easy getting some because there is no chemical store around. So rare opportunities do occur. So through your observation and others, you'll be able to identify the opportunity. And we also say that every situation is an opportunity to create something valuable. Just 3 days ago, we were in a car with my husband, and I said that these people that sell fruits, at times you see some of the fruits are going bad. And I said that if some of them may have the idea, get a small fruit juice maker attached to where you are selling the fruits. And then these fruits that you think will go bad, you start processing them there, having cups ready to serve people. When they are passing and they realize that there is a fresh juice here, they will stop and buy. Rather than allowing the fruit to go bad and then go and throw them away. This is an idea that came to my mind. And if somebody can do it, so you see that every situation that comes up, there might be an opportunity in it. Then we also say that the society is full of problems. Our society is full of problems. And in you trying to solve the problem of the society, it becomes an opportunity for you. It becomes an opportunity for you. I normally live at Botiano, New Botiano, at a place called Otinto, on the hill there, when I come to Accra. And I was telling my sister that we have made some 2 stores there. I've realized that when you want credit for electricity, you have to come down. And at times you go and they tell you the one who is operating it is not there. You have to climb back and then wait again. At times you have to come down to Botiano Junction. And I was telling her that this place, nobody is dealing in that business here. So I believe that if we should start some here, then we are going to take over those catchment areas. So you see, in trying to solve the problem, it becomes an opportunity for you. So find problems in your society and they will become opportunity for you. So to identify them, look for gaps in the market. What is missing? What is not there? We were transferred to Kumasi, and where we were living, I wanted a kilo of fish, and they told me, as for here, you won't get some. So unless we go to the market. And I said, oh, so nobody is operating a cold store here so that the person can be selling in kilos, so that those who want to buy those smaller quantities can afford. It's a gap. So when we say gap in the market, we are talking of those things that are missing. So scan into your vicinity, look at your area. What is missing? What is not there? One of my students who finished school about 8 years ago, and they were living in Kwashibu, relocated to Medina when they built their own house. And she was working in the ministries. So it's like coming to the ministries, taking the children to school, going back became so hectic for her. Then she came to me asking me if she can start something. At first, she was deciding on a provision store, and I said that no, don't go there. Let's look at the area. It's a new place. What can you do? So after a few discussion and consultation, she decided on starting a hardware, like selling cement, nails, headpan, shovel, and all those things. And to the glory of God, today she has 4 outlets. Frafraha, Medina, Denta, and recently one at Amasaman. So what we ask people normally to do is that look at your environment. Scan where you are. What is missing? What is missing is an opportunity that you can lay hold of. Then the complaints in the environment. What do people complain about? Maybe there is no water in that area. You see children, women going about with gallons, wanted to fetch water. Travel a distance, queue. So if somebody should identify the opportunity and can drill a borehole in that place for the first time, put a polytank on it, that person will catch the whole area. And then the need of the society is very important. An opportunity must be felt by the society. That is when it becomes a real commercial opportunity. Then again, your capabilities as an individual is very important. Your previous experience, your exposure, your family background, your personality traits also count in being an entrepreneur. There is an argument. People ask, are entrepreneurs born or they are made? Well, there is two schools of thoughts. They are all very important. Normally, the behaviorists believe that entrepreneurs are what they do, so anybody can be an entrepreneur. Situation can make people entrepreneurs. There were people who were not entrepreneurs, but they were laid off. And when they were laid off, they started doing something for themselves. Then the psychologists believe that to be an entrepreneur, you should have some inherent characteristics that makes you an entrepreneur. But I want to tell you that it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter your educational level. It doesn't matter whether you are married or you are not, you are young or old. Entrepreneurship breaks all those boundaries. And you can be one. Then again, the resources available in your environment is also very important. If you want to start something, make sure the resources available in your environment can help you. We traveled to Asin Mansu area. And then those places, I saw trucks, Kia trucks, with oranges, full, and they are getting rotten. They are not getting buyers. that environment, that is what they cultivate, oranges. And I said to myself that we are always importing Don Simon and Series and others from South Africa. Whereas we are also blessed with the same resources available. And trucks are going rotten with oranges. Where are the entrepreneurs? So the resources available in your environment can also be an opportunity for you, so that you convert those resources into available goods and services for people to enjoy. So that is about the identification of opportunity. For me, I don't just teach entrepreneurship, I also practice as an entrepreneur. I have a lot of products. I didn't come with cars, so today I didn't bring any of my products. And what I'm so concerned about, I am in the value chain, converting some of our produce into convenient way people can use. So I polish them and I package them, just like we have on the market. The first day I saw awards coming, I was so interested. I have to buy some and take it to my lecture room to teach my students. The kenke is packaged in a box and labeled. So you just buy it, and when you get to your office, you eat, just like Cocoa King started. And so make sure that if there are resources in your environment, you get an idea of converting them. Now, after you have gotten the opportunity, the next phase on the entrepreneurial process is developing a business plan. And this is what some of us don't like. Well, at times we may think that, oh, but me, I'm a small business. It is the big companies that need a plan. Everybody needs a plan. Because if you refuse to plan, then you are preparing to fail. So you need a plan. It's a tool that helps you, that directs you, that guides you as to where you are going, how you get there. So the business plan is important for every business. You can have it in your own small way, but then it fuels your ambition, keeps you on your toe, directs you, guides you. I always use the business plan as a tool, just like a compass that a captain have on the sea. It directs him as to where he is. Whether he is going astray or not, it directs him. Then it is also a tool for attracting investors. As you start a business and it's growing, you may want some people to come. Then at times, if you want financial assistance, it is also used to source for funds from the bank. When you are going for funding, they ask you if you have a business proposal or a business plan, so that they may know actually what you want to do and then help you. So try to develop one. Who needs the plan? Everybody needs it. If you want to open a new venture, you need a business plan. If you want to grow, if you are growing, you need it. Even if you buy a franchise or acquire a new business, you need a plan. Acquiring the existing business is where people want to sell their business and you want to buy into it. Then we didn't categorize that, but you can also go into a franchise by entering into a contract with a business that is already have a name, a brand. So if you come to Kumasi, for instance, you see a lot of cool sachet water. They are not produced by Vortic Accra here. They are produced in Kumasi, but they have been given the right, the license to use the name Cool as a franchise. You can also do that. I'm not saying water, but there are other areas you can also venture into through franchising. So everybody needs it. So why do you need a business plan? A reality check for examining the feasibility of your business idea. You do a feasibility. One reason why a lot of people fail in business is that they didn't do a feasibility to check whether there was a real commercial opportunity for the business, or whether their business will be accepted even in the environment. I always use this as an example when I was lecturing. There was somebody who was building, and to those in the vicinity, they didn't actually know what the person was doing. But then later, they came to realize that the person was building a morgue, a mortuary. And then those in the community said no, they will not allow him to operate a mortuary in the area because they have cases and others. The reason being that he didn't do a feasibility study of the environment, talk to stakeholders for them to accept or whether they will agree or not. So that one is also very important. And then your business resume, which will be vital in dealing with lenders and outside investors, will also be put in the business plan. And it is a timetable for operations, helping you to coordinate all the diverse activities that you are going to use to run your business. So it is very important. A modeling tool that helps you evaluate the viability of your business, whether it is viable or not. And as I said, it's a vehicle for tracking the progress of your business. Those already in business, some people may have been in business for 5 to 10 years, but they have not seen any progress. They don't know whether they are progressing or not. If you have a business plan, it can track your progress. And it becomes a blueprint against which you can adjust operations in order to achieve your goals. Now, the third one is determine the required resources. Now, in doing the business plan, it will help you to know the things that you need before you can bring out your first sale or production or sales. For example, you want to enter into a restaurant business, or let's say advanced chop bar. What are the things that you need before you can start operation and put it there? Restaurants will be open now. You need space, a place, whether your own built place or a hired place. You may need cooking utensils. You may need gas cookers. Then ingredients like rice, yam, those things that you may need. Tables with plates, cutlery sets, and others. When customers come, they will enjoy. The things that you need to make your first sale, those are the resources that you may need. So money, capital needs, their availability, their accessibility, cost of capital if you are borrowing, allocation of the funds, and budgeting. Then you need materials, as I've mentioned, premises, machines, equipment, inputs. But here, I want to tell you that technically, you don't need all these things before you start a business. I have been making some tasty Tom Brown for years now, but I don't have a milling machine, yet I do it. At times, I fall on others who have those equipment to come out with my produce. So as we are mentioning here, you need a premises. There were some guys in Obuasi who wanted to establish a school, a university, of course. And they even came to me that I should add my credentials. They used their money, they borrowed their money from the bank, they started building. But then they couldn't finish the building, the money was finished. Now they couldn't start the school too. And the banks were chasing them. Jesus said that, which one of you is building and will not sit down to calculate and see how much will go into the building before you start? So that when you start and you don't finish, people passing by will not laugh at you and say that, look at this guy. He started this building, he couldn't finish. That is why it is necessary to determine the required resources you need. Men, pool of labor or employees, if any. Then business clientele or market. There is no business where there are no customers. It is customers that keeps you in business. So you should know your market share, your business clientele before even you start. the management team or decision maker, and the time you need for the business. I have been in business for long, but I've made up my mind not to grow my business. It's intentional. Because I'm a lecturer, I am a pastor's wife as well. I'm a wife of the pastor of the Church of Pentecost, a minister's wife, a mother, a lecturer, and you can see the workload. So I don't want to expand my business so much. I'm putting things in place. As at now, I've started a factory. I have about 8 years to go on retirement. So I'm planning towards that by the time I get out, then I know what I have. So some people can intentionally keep their businesses small for a reason. And so if you want to grow, then of course you should know what you need to make that particular business. So having all the resources available, then you can say for sure that now I can start it. For those colleagues that started the university building, I believe that if they have looked for a place and then started it small, as they grow, they will get money to build. There is a school in Botiano, Dunkona side. There is a friend who started the school from her own room. She used her hall. You go and the kids will be lying on her bed and all those things. And as I tell you now, she has 3 stories that have the children. Amen. I was born and bred in Abosokai. So those of you, as for your church, I know there a long time because I had a friend there. And Mrs. Simba was also my schoolmate, my roommate at UCC. Mercy Tego, Mercy School, that is there. Mercy started with 2 kids in their hall. But today, look at it. What I'm saying is that if you want to get all that you need to get before you start a business, then you can never start one. Are you getting me? Then you can never start one. At times we say that money is important, but it is not money alone we use. You need the entrepreneurial idea. It's very important. So once you've got the idea, once you do your business plan, once you acquire your resources, you want to start your business. Starting a business in Ghana. So anyone at all can start a business. It doesn't matter. In Ghana, you have the sole proprietorship. You can go into partnership. You have the companies as well. And some of the major activities within our SME sector that one can fall into is soap making and detergent. One, I am into that business. My first registered business was soap making and detergent. I have all the liquid soap, sanitizers, Parazole, shampoo, conditioner, bath gel, all of them. You can go into fabrics, clothing and tailoring, then textiles and leather. I've been a one-time big batik tie and dye maker before, exporting even some. Hotels and restaurants, private educational institutions, private hospitals and clinics, poultry and ceramics, timber and mining, agribusiness. And today it's one emerging area, agribusiness. You can go into aquaculture, fishing, poultry, all those businesses are there. Then bricks and cement work. Maybe you want to set up a block factory in your vicinity because there is none. Beverages, food processing is also there. Then bakery, wood, furniture, electronic, agro processing, you can mention them. Water resources, financial institutions, bead making and accessories. So when you look into our SME sector, there are a lot of gaps in there that one can lay hold on and then start something. So how do you start? Look for a new innovative idea. Then evaluate the idea to check for real commercial opportunity. I've already mentioned people must feel the need. Then once you come out with the idea, itemize estimate of how much it will cost to get your business startup. Is very important. How much it will cost. And that's why I mentioned the total startup cash needed. A natural budget should be prepared. List all the expenditure you are going to make. So if I want to come out with my Tom Brown or cereal mix, I will need the ingredients, I will need the container, I will need a label, I will need a seal, I will need to mail them. So I do this calculation, and then there are several ways you can get your money. And I always advise that when you are projecting startup expenses, it is better to do overestimation than underestimation, because the cost of produce and others always go up. Within a week, it can jump. Now, when you funding will normally come from your own savings, ownership stake. So it is very important to save. Some people normally say, I don't have money. Oh, how do I do business? We have money. I always tell people, my group, my church people, especially the women. You go to somebody's room, packed cologne, plates, this and that. When my children grow up, who told you your children want it? By the time they grow up, it has become obsolete, outmoded for them. So anything that does not produce any economic good, there's no need keeping them in your room. But we buy and keep them. They don't give us any economic activity. But if you have cocoa chains in Cologne, I come and see it and you are selling cocoa, then fine. You are using it for your business. We have money. Maybe it's not here. I always tell my students, you get the blue dress, you want the blue shoe. You get the black dress, you want the white shoe. All those monies wasted can start a business. So we have money. So your own saving is number one, because it is very cheap and there is no interest. Your personal savings, sale of assets. If there are some things that are not necessary, it's of no use. Sell them and do your business. I know of one of our elders who started a business, and he has to sell his car to support the business. And today he has about 5 trucks and other cars. The business has expanded. So your own saving is number one. Then family and friends, business angels. There are some angels God has sent in our environment, in our society, who help those who have ideas, viable ideas, to start up businesses. Then we have the venture capitalists, partnership. People can come together to form a business and contributing. But in Africa, because of greed, self-interest, selfishness, partnership don't thrive so well because of conflict of interest. Then there are governments and metropolitan agencies that help. Please, let's use those in our vicinity. Go to the GA, Ghana Enterprise Agencies, formerly NBSSI. Go to the business advisory centers. Every district, they are there. Maslock, they are all there. The government has set up these institutions to help startups and SMEs. And some of us, because we don't know, we don't make use of them. People are enjoying, I tell you. So make use of them. Your metropolis, go there. If you tell them, they will help you. Then with debt financing, that is borrowing from the banks and paying interest. The microfinance, and then credit unions. I don't know if you have a credit union here, but it is one thing that is very, very good. Most cooperative societies, churches, and organizations do it. Their interest is very small, so you can be part of it. If you want money, you take it. Interest of about 10%. It's not expensive. Then credit line. People also buy in credit and they pay later. Then equipment hiring, as I said. If you want to enter into construction and they have given you a contract as a civil engineer to build road, to construct a road, do you think you get money to buy bulldozer and the low loaders and others? No. They hide them. They hide them. They hide them to do their work. You go to tractor and equipment and other places, they hide them. So in your business, you can, as a startup, you can hire equipment. You can use commercial labs to test your product so that you move on. Then after doing that, the next thing is to brand the business. Branding the business is very important because your brand tells about you and what you do. Your positive brand can be trustworthiness, innovative, dependable, easy to deal with. And then customer loyalty will depend on your brand. So branding is very, very important. You must build a brand from selection of your name and others. We'll look at that. And then what people are willing to pay as customers. So all these are going for those who are starting up their business. From the procedure, the process you go through. The technique for building your brands today is through your name, logo, website design, Facebook. We thank God for social media. We thank God for social media, public relations, sponsorship, and all those things can help you. Supporting a social cause can help you to brand yourself. Then choose a business name for your business. A name that is attractive. A name that everybody will enjoy. A name that is so catchy. So some insist that a business name should be descriptive of the business. Others suggest being unique is the best way to remember. Your business name is important. Why is it that when people mention Mary Kay, then everybody wants to go for it? Why is it that people, when they mention Marks and Spencer, everybody wants to go for it? It is the uniqueness of the name. So how customers will perceive your business will depend on the image that your name gives. The image that your name gives. Every product of mine has a logo with the name unique. Not unique, U-N-I-Q-U-E. Different, unique. And I've branded it, said that unique, home of quality products. Your convenience is my concern. So why do you go to the market, buy sobolo, buy ginger, pepper, alligator pepper, cloves and all, come and do them, waste time, when I have already mixed sobolo that all that you need is hot water? That is it. You can ask Auntie Christine, all you need is hot water. And you are done. And come and see how people buy them. Last week we were at Western Range in Jabosu. And they bought it. I have to send somebody to Kumasi to come and bring more. So your business name is very, very important. Select a name that every household can reflect on. Then after selecting the name, choose a logo. A logo is what identifies your products. A good logo is what helps your public to remember your business. And normally when you take a logo, nobody can take it when it is registered. So people can sing about it, they can talk about it. It is a strong marketing key. So I said, give some thought to what you want your business to represent in terms of quality, creativity, and value. Check out your competition. What type of logos are they using? So that you can produce something that is similar or not the same, but can differentiate your products, but not drifted so far away. It's a business trick. Why do you think we have Panasonic and Panasonic? Why do you think we have Philips and Philips? B, ending with B. Then we have Kenwood and Kentwood. If you are not careful, you enter into the shop, you buy the wrong thing. By the time you realize you wanted Panasonic, but when you got home, you realize that there is no A, it's Panasonic. They have used that to beat you. Abibas and Adidas. So D and B, they are similar. So if you don't watch carefully, by the time you realize you have bought Abibas instead of Adidas. So choose a logo that can help you. And then colors and shape need to be evaluated. There was one time when this sachet water started coming. And there was one water, I even bought some. They put it into the infusion. It was like the infusion they give at the hospital. And when I saw it, I said, this water will not last on the market. Though it's water. But in the minds of Ghanaians, it is infusion that is put in that kind of bag. So why do you put water into it? Of course, it didn't take long. It was missing from the market. Then another group brought some bottled water. And the first time I saw, I said, this bottle is like a schnapp bottle. It won't last on the market. Because the bottle alone would deter people from buying it. And lo and behold, it got missing. So it is very important that the colors you choose, the shapes and everything become so attractive. There was one group that I was so interested with, Chocho Industry. The first time I saw their tube, a cream tube, I was so happy. They've made it such a way that when you see it, it is just like a foreign product, the packaging. So your logo is very important. Locate one and make sure you don't know how to do it. Get somebody, an artist, to do it for you. Then provide the information so that they make the logo and test it on the market with family and friends. Ask them, how do you see this? If it is good, they will tell you. If it is not good, they will tell you so that you can make changes to it. Let me run. So with your logo, your letterhead, your business card, your sign and packaging, everything, your logo must be on it. If you want the slides, they can give them to you later. After this, let me give you just the procedure for registration in Ghana, registering the business. You know, right from the business start, at times you cannot register it. Let me tell you, most of them, unless you do the business for some time. Now, it is very simple. Go to the Registrar General's department, those who want to start. Tell them you want to register your business. Business name registration, it's simple. I think now it's around 500 or so. They will give you the forms. You go and fill it with all the information that you need and the business. Take it back. Within 2 weeks, they will call you to come for your certificate of registration. Your certificate of registration. They will give it to you. It's very, very important. And then this time, they will ask you to bring a TIN, the TIN number. So you get your TIN number. It's not difficult. There's no legalities. It is very simple. Then open a bank account for the business. Open a bank account for the business. So that at times it will help you when you are going for money and others. When they give you the certificate to commence business, you can take it to the bank to open account. Then you can obtain a receipt and a stamp. A receipt and a stamp. One thing we falter, at times we don't keep record. When people buy, we don't even give them receipts, but have a receipt and a stamp. It shows how serious you are in business. Then apply for business license from the Food and Drugs Board, Standard Board, or your locality. For example, even if you want to start a chop bar at a particular place, it's good you see the assembly Tell them so that they know that this is what you are doing here. They have some advice they can offer. So your district, your municipal or metropolitan assembly, they are all part of the stakeholders. Then apply for social security number. This goes to only businesses that may have employees to pay their numbers. Then you need an environmental certificate at times if you are in the food industry and beverages. At times, if you don't have them, they may come to worry you. To show that you are healthy. To show that you are healthy. So if you are cooking, if you are producing beverages and others, they would want to know how healthy you are. That you don't have hepatitis, TB, and other sicknesses that are infectious. So after this is done, you select your market. The whole market, as I'm talking now, select a market. It's not Agbogboshi market or Kaneshi market, no. I'm talking about your business customers. You cannot serve the entire market. You may want to segment. Market segmentation is dividing the market into either geographic, maybe I will serve only Accra, or demographic, maybe the young people or the old people, graphic variables like the lifestyle of people. So for me, I'm going to deal with only corporate organization, those who are in the banks and others. You select. I know a woman in business who deals with the bank alone. And you know the business she does, she cooks. The bankers don't have time. So she will come, you give her the list of the soup you want and the meat and others. She will go and do it and bring it. When it is finished, she will do another one for you. So you can segment through also that to do it. I tell you, there are a lot of businesses around though, but people just don't know. I will jump that one. So you select a target market because of the time and then establish a unique position in the market. Establish yourself in the market. Make yourself known. Make your presence known. Let people know that there is this that is coming up or has come up so that you can compete with your competitors. Now, to those who are already in the business, we want to tackle managing the business more and then we end. Management is important, especially when the business is expanding. If you don't manage it well, it fails. One of the reasons why most SME fails is poor management. And the most important one is financial management. Managing finances in the business is very important because if you don't do that, you will be in business and then a point will come, you will not have money to run the business. So the company's finance is very, very important. How you are able to achieve the highest rate of return. The first objective you should have is profitability. We are in business for profit, isn't it? Yes. If not for profit, you will not be in business. We are not to showcase anything, but to make profit. So the ability to earn profit is very important. But the truth is that when it comes to startup, many startups in the first 2-3 years do not make meaningful profit. Because one, you may not have a lot of customers at that time. You are now trying to get customers. And then because you may not have enough money, you want to put the money back into the business. But profitability is very important. That is what will keep you going. Then liquidity. Liquid. When we say liquid, we mean money. Ability to have money to pay your debts. From time to time, your financial obligation, short-term financial obligation is very important to meet money the banks need and others. So liquidity, there must be liquid. Then efficiency, efficient use of your tools and resources. Just last 2 weeks, we visited a lady who is operating a small business. And then when we had some whites from Netherlands that were doing a workshop, we asked her the things she needs and she said equipment. Then I asked her, because she said she produces quarterly. So she does the production every 4 months. And why do you need a machine? Because after the production, the machine will be there till the next 4 months. So if you are getting a capacity that is high, then the machine should be working every week or every day. So you don't need a machine. And when I explained that to her, she got the understanding. And so efficiency is when you are using the tools you have bought for the business. For example, if you have bought a cement molding machine that is able to mold about 1,000 cement a day, and for 2 weeks it is there, it is not molding, then it is inefficiency. Efficiency is where you are able to utilize the assets to make your revenue. Then stability is when you are able to earn not only the profits, but to have liquidity in your business as well. So prepare simple statements for your business, like financial statement, balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow statement. One important thing I want to make about finances is that do not eat into your capital. That is why it is important to open a bank account. Normally, we sole proprietorship, they don't separate themselves from the business. That is how it is. So their monies are not separated. So daddy, I want money for books. Open the drawer and take it. I want money to go and do this. Open the drawer. They go to funeral. It is the same money. So they don't pay themselves. They just eat into the business. And that alone can affect your finances. So pay yourself so that you will know that your business is profitable. I will jump the statement. Let's go to time management shortly because it is part of management. Make time for your business. Starting a business is difficult. It is not like going to work at 8 o'clock and coming home at 5. Some people wake out around 5, 4, because they know when they close their stores, their revenue goes elsewhere. So visitors who have no particular purpose, don't entertain them. Unwanted telephone calls when you are dealing with customers. Procrastination. Unavoidable travel. You start a business and every weekend you want to attend a funeral. There are some of them, when they come and the owner of the business is not there, they will go back. They will not wait for you. And they will go elsewhere. Oh, where is madam? Oh, madam is not around. Please, do you want something? So, okay, please, I will come back. They will never come back. So avoid travels and watching TV during working time. Be serious. Have time for your business. Time management for the business is important. And provide a ready service, especially if you are doing the service industry. Another area we default, I know my time is up, is records management. We don't keep records. And at times, because of that, some of the things that should have come to us, we don't receive it. When assistant is coming, normally they want to see your records. What shows that your business is moving, your cash flow and others. So when whatever transaction that occurs, even if you are not learned in that area, you can record them. Record your receipts, your daily transaction, bank slips, bank statements, records for creditors, debtors, all those people. That is records keeping. Date, name, time, so that you can show it when the needs arise. Then your stock management is important. That also tells you that your money is not tied in a particular product. So if weekly, monthly, you check your stock, you will know the kind of goods that moves and those that do not move. It will let you know if the work is progressing or not. You can use the tally cards. I know of a friend who operates a cold store. And when those who are working there go there early in the morning, they arrange with the women. If you are buying 3 boxes, they give you 4. So that later they come for the 1. And these people are Christians. So may God have mercy on us. Then credit management. As a business owner or startup, don't sell all your products on credit. They will come, you give it to them, they will go. They will come, you give it to them. By the time you realize, all your capital is tied up with your creditors. Some, they will take them, go and sell, they will not bring the money back. They will go elsewhere. That can also collapse your business. Then how you market your products. I will just mention them. Differentiate your products from others. Your color, shape, design, taste. For example, bread, make it different. Look for quality and excellent service. Then price your product so that you at least redeem your cost and make a little profit. Don't overprice your product. Look at competitive price in the market and you do it. And then look for channels you can distribute your product so that your business can move fast. If you want to eat all the profits alone, at times your business won't grow. But if you have people that also help you as intermediaries, you share your profits with them, small, so that your business can grow. And then find a way to promote your business. Advertising is expensive for a startup. Do personal selling, door to door, word of mouth, interpersonal contact, family networking, church networking, so you can sell your product. Social media. Thank God today you don't need a store at Mokola. You can get a store on the social media and begin to splash your products and then sell them. So WhatsApp, Facebook, and others. People, process, and then physical evidence goes for those who are operating services. Look for the right people to work with so they can communicate the good aspect of the business. Then process that you take to execute your business, look at it. If somebody comes to your restaurant, I want fried rice, then the person will be sitting down for 30 minutes. Then they come, do I give you water? Do you want any drink? No, I want my food. And for 30 minutes to 1 hour, it hasn't come. When they go, they won't come back. So time factor, availability, readiness is important. Then physical evidence. So I finish. Where you are operating from is very important. Your signage, your painting, your ventilation, environment is necessary. I was passing when a woman was roasting plantain. This is just something, not part. And then she has a small boy. And the small boy was defecating rightly where she was roasting the plantain. Then I said in Chimame, "Nti baby a obane no eye." I said, "Madam, I said, no, find a place for him. If possible, find a chamber pot, hide him somewhere, let him do it. Because the same hand you are using to roast the plantain, that is what you are going to use." So physical evidence, what people see when they come around. They come into your salon, there are cockroaches and butterflies here and there and others. Mosquitoes in your barbering shop, in your restaurant. They go, they won't come back. The place is smelling, so if you're operating restaurant, clinics, salons and others, be careful. To conclude, as Christians, develop a habit of loyalty and faithfulness. Ethics in business. Be faithful. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. If you ask the customer to come for the goods at 12, make sure by 12 it is ready. If it is not ready, call the person ahead. Flexibility, speed of response, opportunity focus. Then lastly, bless God with your money. Hallelujah. If God blesses you, bless God with your money. I know the others will come during the question time. God bless you.
You can do better. You can do better. This is a packed information that we should be paying in dollars for, not in cedis, dollars. But in the house of God, God has opened opportunity for us to get it free. So what do we say to our doctor? God bless you. God bless you, mommy. God bless you. And we will entreat the other classes to come in. And also for our internet audience, If you have questions, please be sending them online. We will put them together for them to be addressed in the review session when our panelists are all here and seated. Please send your questions online. This will be addressed. Also, those of us here, if we have questions, ushers will be going around with pieces of papers. If you have a question, you can take a piece of paper and write it down. This one too will be addressed accordingly. As we wait on our brethren coming in, we would like to sing our youth anthem, camp anthem, Do Exploits, and as they join us. So the organist will give us a tune, we will start singing and welcome them in. I can't hear you. Be brave and true, stand for the right, for 'tis good in his sight. Onward we go to spread the news of God, tidings to all nations, and sing of his praise. Marching forward, bold and daring, do exploit for the Lord. Marching forward, bold and daring, do exploit for the Lord. Forward ever, brave and dauntless, do exploits for the Lord. We shall do exploit as the Lord has strengthened us to make his home our choice. Amen. Amen. I was not feeling your singing at all. I don't know whether you are a bit fatigued, but we would like to take it again. We would like to take it one more time. Now I want to feel you sing. Okay, organist. Two. Arise, O youth of God, and stand, for 'tis the Lord's command. Be brave and true, stand for the right, for 'tis good in his sight. Onward we go to spread the news of good tidings to all nations, and sing of his praise. Marching forward, good and daring, do exploits for the Lord. Marching forward, bold and daring, do exploits for the Lord. Forward ever, brave and dauntless, do exploits for the Lord. We shall do exploit as the Lord has strengthened us to make his home our choice. Amen. We thank God, and I know we all had a good session from our various classes. Now it's time for our panelists to come. and I'll invite our youth leader to welcome them to their seats as they address our questions. And before the rest of us came in, we had already announced that ushers will be going around with pieces of paper for us to write down our questions, and this will be addressed, as well as our online listeners too can send their questions, and that one too will be addressed. So I'll not waste time. I'll welcome our brother Richard Ezuman to do the honors for us. God bless you.
Amen. I hope all of us are. As my brother said, we are going to have a panel discussion whereby in the various classes, if you have any questions pertaining to what you studied, you would have the opportunity to ask, and our panelists will have time to answer you. So in all the various classes that we held today, there will be more or less like resource persons who will be seated here, and if you have any question, then you would ask. So I will introduce them quickly, and they will take their seat and will continue with the discussion. The first one will be Dr. Gabriel Opoku, who actually handled the undergraduate class. We will say a bit about him. Dr. Gabriel Opoku is a very distinguished and simple but hardworking young man who is currently working as a full-time lecturer at the University of Ghana, the English department. He had been an English teacher or lecturer in both Ashesi University and Wisconsin, all in Accra. He has a first degree and an MPhil in English, all from the University of Ghana, Legon. He's an old student of Accra Academy, Bleu. His passion is teaching, and therefore has over 10 years teaching experience, especially in an English language. He's a Sunday school teacher in Apostolic Church, headquarters Aplaku. Dr. Gabriel Opoku is happily married with 2 beautiful children. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, let's give it up to Dr. Gabriel Opoku as he takes his seat. You can do better. Okay, our next panelist will be Mrs. Araba Dennis. A bit about her is that Mrs. Dennis is very good at performing any function under human resource. She actually handled the fresh graduates class. However, her passion is in organizational development. She has a total of 24 working experience with Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, in both administration and management and human resource management. She is also a member of the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management, Accra. She has an executive master's in human resource management in the University of Ghana Business School, Legon. Mrs. Dennis holds a BSc Management Studies, first class honors from the Central University College, Accra. She again has a diploma in bilingual secretariatship, that's French and English, from the Ghana Institute of Languages. She's a wife of a pastor of the Apostolic Church, Apostolic branch, and doubles as the youth advisor to the Apostolic Youth Development Directorate. She's also married with 2 children. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, let's give it up to Mrs. Denny as she takes her seat. Our next panelist will be our guest, Dr. Cynthia Oduro Nyaku. She's a lecturer at Academically University. She has actually been responding to our invitations whenever we call on her. Remember, I think 2 years ago, we had a workshop at Abosokai. She was there to, actually give us some entrepreneurial skills. So Dr. Cynthia Oduro is currently working with Accra Technical University as a lecturer. She also has over 14 years experience as an entrepreneur. She holds a Bachelor of Arts in Secretariatship and an MBA in Entrepreneurship and Small Scale Enterprise. She holds a PhD too in Entrepreneurship. She attends the Church of Pentecost and the wife of a reverend minister in the same church. She's married with children. Let's put our hands together as we welcome Dr. Cynthia Oduro Nyaku. Okay. Okay. She'll be joining us shortly. Okay, she's coming actually. Let's put our hands together for her. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Richard Esuman, and I'm honored to be the moderator for this session. So quickly, we'll go to the session. But like I said, if you have any question, I've asked the ushers to send some papers around whereby you can write your question down, and we'll be asking them. But before that, we'll just quickly go into the session by having some few questions for them before the rest will come in. Thank you. Okay, quickly, Dr. Cynthia Oduro Nyaku, Mrs. Araba Dennis, and Dr. Gabriel Opoku. We are grateful to have you as our panelists for this session, and thanks for honoring our invitation. May God bless you. Okay. We will quickly, like I said, zoom into a bit of what they do. We will start with Brother Gabriel. You know, we have said a bit about you, how you have been able to reach where you are. Briefly, tell us how you were able to, climb up the ladder up to where you are now. Briefly, if you can use the mic for us.
So if you say briefly, how brief?
Well, briefly as you understand it.
Okay, good afternoon to you all, and I am happy to share maybe my little experience with you regarding how I have been able to, let's say, reach where I have reached, as he put it. It has been a rather crooked road, okay, but my fortune is God, Okay, so God first is the one I will mention, because God put in me something that would not give up no matter what I encountered in life. You know, life is full of a lot of challenges. I was not born into a rich home. I was born into a poor home, and I want to even qualify it as very poor home. And you know, the kind of home that people would immediately write you off as enyeye. Okay, but like I said, I had godly parents, and they introduced God to me. And that God put in me some kind of hope, okay, that made me look beyond my situation, okay, and that made me believe that I will be great in future, okay, and having that faith that God can lift me up, I decided I would work hard, okay. Well, to be realistic, let me say that aside from God and the direction God gives, the support that God gives, one of the things that helped me in life is focus. Okay, you know, many people are following their nose. Maybe you pattern your life based on what you see others do, but our callings are different. You see, if someone sold pure water and built a house and bought a car out of it, it doesn't mean that if you also go and sell pure water, you will make it. Okay? It is about knowing your calling, what God has, the talents that God has given you. It's important to know so that based on that, you can have goals. I knew that I was cut out for teaching. Although yeah, hello, good. Although, well, I should confess that some people discouraged me. They felt like, you are too intelligent to be a teacher. Become a banker or a lawyer or a judge or something, okay? I didn't follow them. If I had, I probably would have been disappointed. Sometimes I would sit down and then look into the future and then picture myself in these other professions. I wouldn't be happy. But when I picture myself in the classroom, I become a very happy person. Then I decided that that is what I will follow. So, and the subject I was interested in, I went in for that. Okay? So, that, and then hard work. So, the goal, the hard work, God, prayers, I would say, have brought me this far. Thank you.
God bless you, Dr. Gabriel Opoku. We'll go to Dr. Cynthia Odroyakun. The same question that I asked our brother, Dr. Gabriel. How did you also start, and how have you managed to get to where you are now?
All right, thank you so much. Since I have a lot of young people here, I would rather talk much on academics. As he rightly said, I was neither born into a rich home nor a poor home. We were average family, born and bred at Apostolic. At a point in time when as soon as I wanted to start secondary school, 83, 84, all of a sudden my father decided to go back to the village and farm. So he took all of us to the village. It was then that I started secondary school at Abu School, Abuakwa State College. And I was a day student, walking. And even in the village, there was no light. So for me, I didn't even know what was happening. I went to the school when I was in Form 4. I went to boarding house. I finished. I came back to Accra. But still, I had in mind that I want to go to school. We weren't rich by then. And when I wrote the maths to my GCE, that time O level, I had pass in maths. So I have to rewrite it. So I went with my father to Sibusco to register. It was then there was a man who told us that they are running a secretarial course. So if I can join. He was able to convince my father have to forget about the GCE O level and then I have to start the course. Within 1 year, LLC, London Chamber of Commerce, secretariatship, I passed and I started working with a small company in Accra here. But still I had in mind that I want to go to school. So I was walking in town one day, I met a friend, Francisca. We attended the same preparatory school and he said that, oh, where have you been? And I told her, so as for me, I went to Takoradi Polytechnic. Then I said, then I also go there. The following day, I went and bought the form. And people were telling my mother, I want to tell the young ones here that, look, technical education is what is best for us in Ghana here. Don't let us think of only classical education. People think that if you go to technical school, if you go to polytechnic, then it means you were a dropout. No, it's not true. I'm just telling you a brief, how I've got to where I am today as a doctor, a PhD holder. So when I went to Poly, I was doing DBS, Secretaryship and Management Studies. One day, one of our lecturers, Mrs. Ayepa, a short-term lecturer, said that, look, if you do this course and you pass, UCC will take you. As soon as she said, I said, oh, okay, then I'm going to work hard. So mine was determination. Really, I passed the DBS. I applied to UCC, and they took me for BA secretaryship. And I did that as a degree. Then later, I have to branch to entrepreneurship, MBA, and did PhD. But I want to tell you that all along, I was determined. Because one thing was that when I was young, and I heard of Professor Amatedu, Professor Donfine, and I said to myself that if they are women and they have become professor, then I can also become a professor. Always have a positive mindset. I want to say this in Chi. Until you identify what you can do, you might think that as for you, you are nothing for good, but you are good inside you. So wherever area you take, whether vocational, whether technical education, whatever, if you are determined to climb the academic calendar, you can do it. I know people who have done fashion, they have PhD in fashion, PhD in woodwork, PhD in cookery. It is there. So don't think as for me because I'm in a technical school, I'm in commercial school, I'm doing vocational, I'm not good. You are good. Identify what you can do, and with determination, you can surely be there. It is that what has helped us to this time. We didn't have money, we didn't have anything, but we focused and studied and allowed God to do the rest for us. And that is why we are here today. If you see that I am a doctor, a Mrs. with PhD, it has not been on a silver platter. I work hard, and God has also crowned my efforts with what I did. And I know what I was aiming for when I heard of Professor Donfine and Namatedu and others. If I continue to work hard, I can be there. So that is how I started. It has not been easy, but God has brought me this far. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together for her. Okay. Our next panelist, Mrs. Marilyn Araba Dennis. Mrs. Dennis, we want to have your view on the same question, I know you can also share with us how you have been able to, go up to where you are. And I know it's going to inspire most of us here gathered. So we want to hear from you.
Well, in my case, as to how I got to where I am now, I can only say it's through God. Because my journey was just all over the place. I said I wanted to be an air hostess. Then later on I changed. I said I wanted to be an accountant. And I was very good in accounting. When I was in Form 3, I sat in Form 5 classes. They were preparing to write their O levels. But I was in Form 3 and I love studying, so I wanted to do classes. But when I went, it was only Form 5, so I joined them. And even though I was in Form 3, I was the one teaching them. I was the one topping them. So when my daddy was in Nigeria at the time, so when he was coming to Ghana, he bought a lot of accounting books, thinking that I love an accounting and I want to channel my education there. But unfortunately, when he came down, I've joined the sciences. And as to how I joined the science, as to whether I love science, that's the reason why I went to do science. It wasn't like that at all. I joined the science because for me, I love challenging things. And that time, it was a lot of male doing science than the female. So I wanted to be like a hair among the few females that were doing science. I always want to emerge. I always want to stand out. I always want people to see me. So I always want to be at the most difficult places. So that was how I joined the science class, even though I don't love science. And even though I was with them, I did well all right. I mean, all my exams, I passed it. But unfortunately, the final exams, right, I passed in the art subject more than the science. So I couldn't continue with the science again. Then I have to shift to arts. And the art too, I did well in it. Then later on, I moved to secretariat. And why secretariat? Because I said I want to do bilingual. I want to do languages. At that time, when you are speaking French, the moment you open your mouth to speak French, everybody will be looking at you. Hey, can you speak French? That's the type of person I like. I want to be recognized. So I joined bilingual to go and learn French and English. I also did well there. And that was how I got a job. As to coming to HR per se, in fact, I didn't love HR. I didn't love it at all. So I don't know how I even found myself there. But I think it was organizational change. In my workplace, I found out that there was a restructuring. And those who were left in HR, they were not qualified people. And I realized that they were struggling. And like I said, I want to be with the struggling people, those who want solutions. So because of that, I told the HR person that I want to join them. In fact, I showed the desire to be in HR in 2002. But it was in 2012 before I finally got there. I didn't give up at all. God made a way. And when I got there too, it was God who directed me. Do these courses. And I was able to do my master's in HR. I continued to do my professional in HR. I'm even chartered in HR. And now I've come to love HR so much so that even if you want to move me away, I am not going. So that is how I got to HR.
Oh, better. I hope you're enjoying, if you are liking this session. If you have questions, like I said, we have sent papers around. If you are done writing your question, give it to the ushers to be given to us to ask our panelists. You know, from all that they spoke, they said, one thing or two run through the God factor. It means that it's very crucial to include God in whatever we do. And when I mention God factor, it doesn't mean that when you wake up, you be in your house and be praying throughout the day. No. Do your part and leave the rest in the hands of God. And God will not disappoint. They also had that desire, focus, to get to where they are now. So if we also want to get to the top, we have to do what they have done. And by the grace of God, we shall get there. Yeah. I have some few questions in my hands. I'd like to zoom into that and as more questions come, we'll continue discussion. Somebody is asking whether presentation, Dr. Cynthia Drew, your presentation can be shared to those who might need this. And I think you mentioned that in your presentation. It will be available. Anyone who would like to have a copy of her presentation can see the media people for a copy. Okay. This question said, what are the most important things that need to be in a business plan? I think it goes for you. And the same person is asking, we have been thoughts about registration of business, but what is the procedure when one has an idea? That's the second question. The third one, should a person quit his or her job to start a business knowing he or she cannot combine both? So 3 sets of questions. You may probably have to deal with the first one.
Or let me answer from the last. We don't normally advise that in starting a business startup, if you are in an employed job, you quit because of financial security. Starting a business doesn't mean that you start and you become successful. You may or may not. Because as I was speaking, I told you that entrepreneurship, according to Cantillon, is a speculative activity that you are now entering, you are venturing. It's uncertainty. And so if you are working, don't quit. You can be a part-time entrepreneur. Part-time entrepreneurs are those who are working and have started their own businesses. They use it to test the viability of their idea. And when you do it to a point and you realize that the income that is coming is at least enough, then you can quit your employed job so that you can take full charge of the business and have time with it. I'm giving you one example. I had a friend who was working at Merchant Bank, somebody who went to UK to do her MBA in finance. Then one day I met her in town and I asked her, where have you been? She said, oh, I'm in Ebrim. And I said, what are you doing in Ebrim? She said, oh, we are into charcoal business. What about your work? She was a manager, so I've quit. So the husband and the children, so we are all relocated to Ebrim. When they were in London, they started a charcoal business. So when they came, they bought a land, they planted the trees and started having about 10 ovens of it. Then she also entered into politics. And I don't know what happened, opponents and others. People went there and destroyed all their ovens. The business collapsed. And she has also lost her job. So it is not a good advice. You start the business gradually. I am a lecturer. I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm handling the two. That's why I said that I have made up my mind that I will not grow my business now. I'm doing it in a moderate way. When I want to let it go up, then maybe I will be coming out from lecturing, and then I will be focusing on it. Secondly, the business plan is a tool that communicates to your stakeholders, your bankers, investors, employees, at times even suppliers, and key customers. So what should go into your business plan? The business plan itself is made up of many plans. The financial plan, the marketing plan, organization plan, and then your resumes and others. All these plans put together makes up the business plan. So how you are going to finance your business, how you are going to market your product, the team you are going to work with, and all those things are the key areas of the business plan. So that when the investor takes it, he knows that you mean business. This is where you are, this is where you want to be. When you go to the bank for money, they will know your cash flow statement and know that cash inflow and outflow is very strong. You have a liquidity, so they can offer you the money. And the last one the person asked was, registration of business. The procedure, I think I was given it. Once you start the business, you want to register it, go to the Registrar General's department in the ministries. When you go, tell them you want to register your business. They will ask you to take a form. I think it's now around 500. I don't know. The last time I renewed mine, it was 250. So let's say 500. They will give you the form. There is no legality about it. What they request now is just the TIN number. Fill the form, the type of business, where you are located, the business name and all those things. Then you pay your money. They will ask you to come for the certificate. Maybe in 2-3 weeks' time, you go and you pick it. It is very simple. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together for her. We have extra 2 questions here, all for you.
Registering a business is different from getting certification of Food and Drugs Board registration for your products. Registering the business is the business you are registering. But when it comes to the product, it also takes a different form. You have to go to the Food and Drugs Board. You go, they will ask you to bring some of the products. For me, I've registered liquid soap, sanitizers, and others. Then they will do a test. If each of the products have the cost you will pay, then you go and pay it, and then they will give it to you. What follows is that at times they want to come and see where you are doing the business, the premises, to inspect and see what you are doing from there. Then when you want to export some of your products, Standard Board Authority will also have to come in and give you certification. That one too, when you go, they have the various standards for the product. Each comes with a cost. Then you pay them, you go through a process. They may even want you to do a flow chart of how you produce and all that thing. But if you join NBSSI, now GEA, and other governmental organizations like the BACS and others, they may help you to register some of your products. I know for NBSSI now, if you have about 3 or 4 products, they register one for you free. So that is about that too. Thank you.
Okay. The next 2 questions. But right after that, too. All right. When a person is not known locally in a certain geographical area, it becomes very difficult for that person to break into the market. How should a person deal with such a problem?
Like you want to set up a business in a geographical area where people do not know you. Okay, a lot of products come on the market. We don't know where they come from. Yet, we still patronize them. So, all depends on your ability to market your product. It's very, very important. If people don't know your product, they don't know you, how can they patronize it? So, I mentioned in my talk that as a startup, you can't do advertisement on the TV or radio. It's very, very expensive. But you can do personal selling. Last week, I gave my students assignments. We didn't have lectures. They were going out to practice. I put them in 5 groups. And I asked them to contribute 20 cedis each, which is 100 Ghana. They should go there, find something 100 Ghana can do, and they should sell. And I want to make them know that with 100 Ghana, they can do business in Ghana. And I was telling them that if you want to do business, you should know how to sell. If you don't know how to sell, you cannot do business. So the first thing is that they shouldn't feel shy. They should go out. Go and buy a pencil case. Put a pencil, eraser, sharpener in them. Move on campus. Students don't have them. Sell it to them. They will buy. Exams is approaching. Find a handkerchief. Put a toffee in it. Go from door to door. Knock the lecturer's door. Tell them, I have nice hanky. I have this. It was a practice. So what I want to say is that if in a locality or geographical area, they don't know you, make yourself available for them. Go from door to door. Do personal selling. for them to, people don't know your product. And how can they shift from what they are using to yours? Unless you testify. So I tell people, oh, as for me, I don't like Tom Brown. I said, look, this Tom Brown, when you eat it, you come and buy. I tell you. Then I convince them, they buy. And they say, hey, madam, can you get me 5 of your Tom Brown? And I said, yes. So it's about you being able to convince your market, your customers, and giving them what you have. Because changing from old to new at times is very difficult. I've been drinking Belacqua all these years. Why are you telling me that I should buy Nero? What is so unique about Nero that I should now shift from Belacqua to Nero? Then you are going to let the person know what Nero contains and the benefit the person will come from it. So if you are not known, that is the way you can take in order to get people to patronize your business. Thank you.
Okay. The next question, is it advisable to share your business plan with people you trust, knowing that they might go ahead to execute your plan?
That is exactly the truth. It always happens. At times you may have the idea and you are sharing with somebody because you need help. By the time you realize the business is out there already. So people find it difficult to share their ideas. Now we have 3 types of the business plan. We have the summary, we have the detail. So normally what I do tell people is that give out your summary business plan and not the detail. It is only when people have invested and you see their seriousness that you can give them the detailed business plan. When you are going to the bank, give them the summary business plan. It happens. At times with this certification I'm talking about, the standard board, people will come and see how you do your thing, the process and others. When they go, they can also do it. They can copy. That's why people copy businesses and they do it. So that one is very difficult. So don't quickly sell your ideas. We are Christians. Also pray about it. Ask God to protect your idea for you. And my God can do anything for you. He can do anything for you. Amen.
Okay. There are more questions in. And this time around, somebody, I have some for you. So get ready. But there was a question you answered on how you register your business. But the person has come back to say that he meant registering an idea.
Oh, okay. Protecting the idea. Protecting the idea. So that people may not copy it.
Yeah.
You can do that through patent, copyright. That is what we call intellectual property. Intellectual property. When we talk of entrepreneurship, it's not only just a product. Idea is also an entrepreneurship. If you've heard of Colgate, Colgate is not the one who manufactured the paste Colgate, but he was the one who came out with the tip, the idea of the tip of the tube, and it was named after him. So it is something we call intellectual property. So you register it. Normally it can take 20 years before somebody can do the same thing. But if you don't register it, people can copy it. So it's just like writing a book and then there's a copyright. It's just like a music and all those things. Business ideas too, you can register it for intellectual property, patent, to protect the idea so that nobody can duplicate it or take it or steal it. Yeah. If the person wants to use it, then if you are the registered person, the person will have to contact you and pay some royalty or something before the person can use it.
All right. God bless you, Mama. This question goes to Mrs. Dennis. What are the points to consider in writing a good CV? We have about 3 questions for you, so that's the first question. I think you have to deal with the first one, and then we'll continue with the second and the third.
When you are writing CV, the main purpose of CV is that you are going to use it for something. We write CV to look for job, and also we write CV to look for school. So it depends on what you are using the CV for. If you are using the CV to go to further your education, you have to make sure that what will stand out in your CV should be things related to education, things that you are going to learn. If it is CV to look for a job, then you have to make sure that it covers your work experience, the knowledge that you have before. So it depends on what you have to do. And the key thing in the CV is your address, your contact person. Because if now they want to employ you based on your CV, they cannot locate you. There are some CVs, they don't have contact addresses. So make sure that first of all, your contact details are correct. Your PO box, if there is no PO box, email address, or even now, a lot of people are now using the Ghana Post address. Because that one, when you write it and they are looking for you, they will get it. So make sure that your contact details are correct. And then you have to give them summary of what you want to do if it is looking for a job, what you can do. And most of the time, if it is an advert and you are applying for that job, make sure that what you are capturing in your, so don't use a standalone CV for everything. You can update your CV as and when you are looking for a job. So when you read the advert, the things that they are looking for in the advert, make sure that you have captured it in your experiences. So what you can do, let it stand out, because after all, you want to be an accountant, then they want to know what you can do, whether you are analytical. So you tell them that, oh, you are very good in doing analysis. You are very good. Even if you are not good, just write it and go and learn. In case they should call you, you will be ready. So first of all, get your contact right, your personal details, your name, your the school that you've gone to, get it there. Your summary, you should get it there. Your working experience, you should get it there. And also give them your references. If you have these key things, you can write a very, very good CV. And also the reference, give somebody who can tell them about you, somebody who say something about you that you get the employment. Don't just give anybody.
Okay, God bless you. The second question is, what are the most important things to do when preparing for an interview? The last one, how to become a good employee, or the things to focus on when you are in the working class market.
If you are preparing for an interview, in fact, we used to get a lot of CVs, but we are going to do shortlisting. And the shortlisting is based on your CV and what you can do. That is why it's good to get a cool CV. Now, if you are called, normally when they call you, they will tell you the company that is inviting you for the interview. Sometimes when they are doing the advert, they don't like to bring out the company because they don't want to get a lot of CVs. So they will hit the company. But when they call you, they will tell you that, oh, yeah, Ghana Port and Abos Authority, you are being invited for an interview. Nowadays, they can call you today for you to report tomorrow. In our place, a lot of times we've been calling people today and they'll have to come to interview tomorrow. And once you are looking for a job, you have to be ever ready. So when they call you and they give you the name of the company, please. In fact, I always say that things are easy nowadays because of Google. Just go to the net and browse about the company. Every company, they have their website. Know their mission, know their vision, know their core values. These are questions that even if they don't ask you anything, they will ask you. Fine, you want to work with us, so what do you know about us? Of all the companies in the world, why are you choosing us? So make sure that you have research on the company and then what you are going to do. If you are applying for an accountant, know that you know everything about accounting on your fingertips. If you are applying for a secretary, know that you know everything about the secretary on your fingertips. And sometimes, so it depends on the position. There are some that is straight from school, fresh graduate. There are questions that will ask you, and normally it is based on what you've learned in school. But if you are applying for a senior position, it is based on what you have done before, the experience that you have. So make sure that you know more about the company and you know more about what you are going to do, and also be very, very confident. And I always say that we are privileged to be what? God's children. Because with God, all things are possible. When you pray and you commit the interview to God's hands, sometimes you even go to the interview room, they will not even ask you anything. They will be just chatting with you and the job is yours. It is all based on favor of God. That is why I always keep advising you that make sure that God is your best friend. Get your 3 graces. Worship God often. And there's nothing that you want that He will not do for you.
God bless you. Oh, are you not happy? And I think that the touch a bit on how to become a good employee. How to become a good employee.
How to become a good employee. You've entered a company, like I said, you should know their core values. You know what they want, what they expected of you, and just do it. It's a matter of obedience. Deliver on what you are employed to do. Some people go, they are eager to work, but when they enter the organization and then they look left and right and they see lazy people, they want to join them. No. Be your best. After all, as a child of God, you are supposed to shine everywhere. And they say what? We are working for what? God, and not for man. Whether you are recognized or not, whether you are appreciated or not, do it. Give off your best. And that is how you become a good employee. God helping you. You don't say that just because they are not paying you well, just because they are not treating you well, so you also do the work no, as a child of God, we don't do that. We work for God. We don't work for man. One day, your God will come and you get every promotion that you need to get. So be a good employee. If you're a good child of God, you can be a good employee.
God bless you. I like the last part. You want to be a good employee. Be what?
A good child of God.
Good. God bless you. This one goes to Dr. Gabriel. What are the things to consider in choosing your course? You have about 4 questions for you. So that's the first one. The second one is how to excel in academics. And how do a student know that, how does a student know that he or she is on the right path academically? So you can attempt these 3 and then the last one will come. The first one is, what are the things to consider in choosing your course?
Okay. I don't know if the person means program or course.
Yeah, program.
Yeah, program. Okay. So if we take it that let's say you are a high school leaver and you are going to university and you want to determine what program to pursue, the factors that you consider. Okay. So, well, let me say first, you need to consider your own strength. Okay, so let's say in the high school or secondary school, you had the opportunity to take different subjects, and all these subjects are connected in one way or another to the various programs that you do. Okay, so if your strength, for instance, is in mathematics and science, then you know that you could thrive in the sciences, okay, and then, the calculation related kind of programs. If probably you had struggles there and your strength was mainly in the theoretical kind of questions, like the social studies and English and literature and those things, then it means you may have to probably go in for the humanities, more reading-based kind of courses. Okay, so if I say your strength is one of the things you consider, that is what I mean. So if you are know where you are doing very well at the previous level, okay, before maybe you apply for a program. Now, another thing that you may want to consider is your interest, okay, what you have passion for. Okay, I talked about talents. Okay, so what are your career goals? I mean, I know that it is not easy determining what one would be in future. Like our sister Marilyn said, I want to be an air hostess. At the end of the day, he ends up somewhere else. But some are usually privileged, like myself, to know, what I really have interest in, the kind of profession. And I have taught students whom, I did study, right from the basic all the way through to university, taking their degrees and are working. That they knew precisely what they wanted to do. That and you will know the kind of passion that they have about becoming a nurse, or the passion that they have about becoming a doctor or a teacher or a lawyer or something. Okay, so the interest or passion also counts. Okay, so that is another thing we may want to consider. Another thing that you may want to consider too is well, let's be realistic, cost. You see, sometimes, although it is not, the main, your strength and your interest, they are more important. But sometimes to, cost, the world is such that it could be that you can afford, maybe you have strength in a lot of things. There are those who are blessed to be, let's say, all-round kind of students. Okay, so they are strong in the mathematics, the sciences, the arts and all. So it means that such people can go to a lot of places. So here, when you consider interest, also affordability is another thing we may want to consider. Generally, the sciences are very, more expensive, than the arts or humanities and the rest. Okay, so cost also becomes another factor. So yeah, that is it. But you see, one thing that I would like to say regarding cost is, see, if you have, let's say, you have strength in a certain field, no matter how expensive, if the passion is there, we have God. God can make the way for you to afford, such courses. Okay. So, and God is also another factor, especially where you are not sure which direction to go, what programs to choose. Especially for those of you who have strength in various fields, and then again you have interest, that cut across. So we need to pray to God. It's actually the primary thing to do, so that God gives you the direction. God can direct you exactly what kind of program you should pursue. So I think, for now, these are some of the things I can say as things that will help you to decide what program you want to pursue.
All right. We are hard pressed with time, but quickly touch on the third question. How do a student know that he or she is on the right path academically? Quickly.
This question is really ambiguous. On the right path academic, because we've talked about choosing a program. Is it the same person?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Is it performance?
Yeah.
The question is not
doing what?
Because if it is performance, schools' performances are rated. Okay, so if you are probably getting C's or D's and you are not doing well, if you are making these B pluses, yes, you are doing quite well. If you are making A's, you are doing very well. So that is why maybe if Marilyn understands.
Nowadays, you choose a course, and then the universities will give you a different course altogether. And maybe because you want to continue with your education, you will take it, you will accept to do it. And as to whether it is the right course or not, it will depend on you. When you start it and it is going well, then you continue. If you start it and your performance will tell you, if you know you are not doing well, then you stop. You can write for change. It is done. Because they will not let you continue with something that at the end of the day is not going to help you. So sometimes we choose one subject, they will give us another. And then you realize that sometimes the new one they will give you, if you start, you will even fall in love with the course. So all depend on you, your interest and your performance. It will let you know whether you are on the right course or not.
I also want to say that, I'm so much concerned about, we are talking about entrepreneurship and then career and others. At times, look for the job market and choose the course you are doing. You finish the course and there is no job for you. But there are also people who also, by the time they finish, job is already waiting for them. So that one also matters. Look for the job market so that the school you are going, when you come out, you get employed. There are some areas that are very porous, already choked. Don't just follow people and go and do it. look for new areas. There are courses you don't have regard for them. But if you have the strength, and as he said, you can afford and you do it, you come out and you are a hot cake. So I also advise that look at our world today and choose a course. Thank you.
Oh, let's put our hands together for them. Okay, I think this and a couple of questions will be our last question. It goes to Dr. Gabriel too. How can I become a lecturer or obtain a PhD with an MA course?
How can I become a lecturer?
Yeah. Or obtain a PhD with an MA course.
Oh, okay. Becoming a lecturer, one, you should have interest in a number of things. Lecturing is not just about teaching, okay? So you should have interest in teaching. You should have interest in research. So if you don't like research, you might want to think twice. And then you should also have interest in knowledge sharing, interactions and, all those things. Now, I mean, that is for, that aspect. Then as far as qualification, is concerned, now if we consider the universities as we have them now, the minimum qualification, it used not to be so. That is what it is now, especially in the public universities. The minimum qualification for becoming a lecturer is a PhD, which means you should have taken all the degrees that a university has to offer. So you should be ready. If you are a lady, count the cost and all that. Because the number of years you have to study, and I mean, you should be ready to go through all that, all the 3 degrees. So PhD is the minimum. Well, in private, in the public universities, with an MPhil, get the lecturer, but comes with some conditions. It's by way of the qualification side. Still in that direction, maybe tagging on to the question of MA to PhD. Okay, ideally, the idea is if you want to be a lecturer, I mean, you are ready to be in academia, I mean, you should be introduced to philosophical foundations. Okay, you should be able to go into the very depths of knowledge. Okay, not the knowledge straightway as we have it, but the origins of knowledge itself. And that is what the philosophy part of academic degrees does. Okay, so that is why it is a requirement that you should have an MPhil. And many universities, especially the traditional universities, still insist on getting an MPhil before you proceed to the PhD, okay? In the advanced countries, for instance, if you don't have an MPhil, maybe you have an MA, they may take you on and find a way to get you to still do the MPhil plus the PhD. But there are, still some courses that, especially the science-related technical courses, that you can progress to a PhD, right from the MA or MSc or something. But that is also context specific, and it also depends on the universities and the departments. Okay, but ideally, I think you should aim at, if you really have interest in academia, the aim should be to do an MPhil. Then you progress from there to the PhD. Okay.
Thank you. God bless you.
We have a PhD here.
Time. Okay.
Okay, MA to PhD. I think recently the NCT, they did some checks and others. And then there are some that do research. Others don't do research. So they came out that those who did dissertation and not research were downgraded. So they can take the MPhil. But there are those who did MBA who did research. If you did MBA and research, it is accepted. But as he was saying, just the raw MBA, if you want to be a lecturer, is not acceptable. Once you don't have the research, they will allow you to do a research work like the MPhil before you can be a lecturer. So if you don't have it, I know people have two masters and others. If you are still interested, you can go in for the MPhil and then you add it up so that you become the lecturer you want to be. Yeah.
Okay, now there are MPhil top-ups so that you don't have to do coursework again. Okay, so in the field in which you do your MA, you did your MA, you can go to the department. They may have MPhil top-up options so that you just do a year of the research and writing and then you are good to go.
Okay. I think this is where time will permit us. So, with a thunderous round of applause, let's clap for our panelists. What do you have to say to them? God bless you. We are very grateful, and I'm sure all of us are blessed with the experience they have shared and the questions that they have answered. So, because of time, would have asked them to give us their last, words. But because of time, like I said, they have said a lot, which when we take into practice, it will help us to get to wherever we want to get to. So thank you also for coming. We are much grateful for your presence here. May God bless us all. And let us see that change we want to see in our midst. Let not this program that we have had be in vain. It should challenge us to aspire to do more. And God will do wonders. God will use us to do exploits. That will marvel us. May God bless us all. Amen. I rise up.